Hey there, I am JB and welcome at Islandia Islands. For today we're going to continue building on the transportation network, which I want to implement the first public minecart station and work on to the cargo line as well as place down the road all around the island. I also got a comment of Mark Empire on trying the create mod, but I want to say once again that I will try the mod along with the others in season 2, since the create mod will be way more useful playing the game on survival mode. But thank you a lot for your comment, I really appreciate it. And if you guys don't know what to comment but still want to help out, you can always leave an emoji. Alright, now before we start working on this wonderful island, I just want to show you the off-camera work that I have been doing. So first of all, I have changed the texture onto this tower right down here into something very orangey, old, rusty, and that good stuff. So I also want to show you that on the back here, I have made this pathway, if you would. And from this pathway, you can go into this room, which I'm going to need to decorate for a little bit. And this room is mainly being used for the cargo train, or cargo line better to say. So once the crane goes down and it needs to pick up the containers. Now it is a very banging color, but I want to have certain spots and things that, you know, it's just a different color than from all of the gray stuff. And speaking about all of the gray stuff, I've also been adding a little bit of texture to this line down here. So a little bit of rust, a little bit of broken and old and that good stuff onto it. Which also right down here, I've been finishing off this support pillar right down here, and it is a lot of work, and I'm going to need to do 2 more of these guys besides doing a lot more of the support pillars. Now of course the other ones, I want to try and see if I can make them look different than these guys right down here. So from every angle you look at this island, it doesn't look all the same. And last but not least, a very important one if you would, I have been fixing up something right down here. Now it doesn't look very TV-ish, it looks more like a big advertisement billboard type of deal with a bowl of ramen or noodles. Is that the same? Anyways, you get the idea here. I just searched for a pixelated picture, and yeah, and then I tried to do my best to make it look like it, and you know, I think it worked out well. These lights down here will give some nice warm glow when RTX is turned on. I might just show it to you at the end of this episode. And besides that, I have been adding a little bit of greenery here and there on these support pillars. Now I do want to say, the further you go into the island, the less rusty it will become. I think that it's good for, you know, having something different to look at is what I'm trying to say here. I think it would be a good idea. So the train station for today is going to be on this spot right down here, because we're also going to implement this rotation type of deal for the containers that will be placed right down here and then be moved up into the building. But before doing that, I would first like to place down a road network. I'm not going to place down just one piece of it, we're going to place down a lot of it. Alright, I have finished fixing the road all the way to the other side, and or I gave it a bit more of a texture. Now most of the stuff is going to need to be done off camera. As you can see from this view, I've also added a little bit more texture onto the sidewalk. Now the road is going to go like this, and I have been thinking maybe the part from the big transport bridge, which will contain monorail, which is going to contain a road that is going to be used for medium area, is going to have like a side ramp going down, and I think the side ramp going down needs to be perfectly end up right down in here. So from this area you can go that way, go that way. And the reason why I want to have it end up here is because this part of this sewage pipe structure is going to have a very empty blank wall. So I thought it might be good to end up here so we can just do something with the blank empty wall. Now from this point on, it's going to go that way, and I've chosen to keep the road straight. Will be buildings and stuff placed underneath. There will also be like certain structures, oh my throat, they'll be placed underneath to hold up the road. So we're going to think of little excuses here and there, and like I've been saying before, we can also expand the island just a little bit. We don't have to work precisely with what we got. Now down here, it is ending up into another parking spot. And I think this is just perfect because right down here, we're going to make a train station. It's going to be cramped in. I got a couple of ideas what I would like to do with this whole area, because I've been saying before I want to dig out at least the water level part, have some water coming in here, and then I want to make like some kind of a market area out of it, like a horseshoe circle market, and have like a couple of little docks in here, and maybe in the middle I want to fix that, you know, a beautiful tree. Let's just have to see how and what, because what I also should not forget for this area is I want to make it on such a way, once again, that we can fill up the sky for a little bit. I want to have the sky closed off. I want to make it, you know, cozy type of deal. So we just have to see what can be done here, and if you have any ideas, just bring it in. Now, of course, certain things can be easily solved by a tiny wolf chasing a sheep. That's cute. Anyways, we can also solve this easily by adding some more pillars to the show. Now, I do want to keep one thing in mind, is that this pillar structure here is going to have this height, right? The other pillar structures need to be either higher or lower, something like that. So I want to create height differences and not make like chop off one height, build something on there, chop off one height, build something on there. Of course, later on, the higher we go, it will happen, but it would be more reasonable for the start to not have that happen. Anyway, do not get too much distracted with this idea generation machine. We're going to fix something right down here, right? It is very cramped up, and I absolutely love it. We can make like a store underneath here, have a store there. It's cozy, cramped up. I freaking love that. Not sure just yet what I want to do with this, even though well, maybe, actually, kinda. So, what I was thinking, I seen before these squid fish in the water, right? And I was like, what if we can make like use of fish tanks? What if we make like a giant fish tank out of this thing here? Which I'm going to keep in mind. The train station, I think I want to have it on the same height as the rail track, right? I think it's going to be important to do that though. So there's going to be a stairway that goes up, or like a little elevator also going up. Might need to change some of the texture on here. The texturing is like a lot of work. Now, besides that, we're going to make this platform for this rotator. So I got a lot of work to do, and I think I will just start out with the rotator first. Since the train station, we can play around with it for a little bit and anything else that is around it. Alright, I figured out most of the things that I want to do, and I calculated that the platform needs to be on this height, which is very good. I got a lot of space between in to do some other things. The rail system is going to go all the way up till here at least, and a little bit inside of it, because we're going to need to make sure that the rail from underneath goes back up on top, so it can go back to that spot right down there. Also, this is the perfect height, because I also want to keep in mind, well, this here needs to be like a upside down stairways, and then I want to at least keep a spot of one underneath. And also, this is plenty of space for the train station, which is going to be all the way up here. Now, I've also been thinking like I could make a stairways, which I do want to do, because some people are afraid of water. And the reason why I'm saying water, well, I should not forget this is Minecraft, and we need to make use of Minecraft things, right? So I'm going to need to make an elevator, is what I'm going to say here. All honesty on a stick, I have never made an elevator like what I'm thinking of. Which I do believe that we're going to need to make use of soul sand. And then somehow, some way, like I've been saying before, we need to signs, then add in, well, at least one thing works. But here is the question. Ah, there we go. Yeah, bubbles. So yeah, this is what I wanted to create for an elevator. And then, if I'm not wrong, apparently I am wrong. Okay, I see. The thing that I did wrong, apparently you need to be sure that every block is made out of water. Because right now, this is how it works, so don't need a tutorial. Alright, just between I just want to show you what I've got down here, and I also want to test something. So this is the rotating platform. Now of course it is a little bit difficult to make like a tiny little gap between these two spaces here, unless I want to say is unless I can do this, kind of make it look like, you know, it's like a gap thing. Now the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm not really sure what, but I thought let's place this underneath and then let's just see. Can I still? No, I cannot do that, and I think I also know why I cannot do that. But then all of a sudden something else popped up in my mind. I'm also not sure if this will work. No, of course not. Maybe I need to bend down or whatever. No. So long story short, what I'm looking for is something to fill in the little gap. Anyways, if you know something, then you can of course let me know. But for now, I'm just going to put these underneath. It's a very simple rotating platform. This is also the kind of deal that I would like to make on the ship. And of course, I need to keep in mind, don't touch the minecarts, or I'm going to need to reset the stuff every time. You know, I just had to do it. I just had to make a store out of it already, or at least the building itself. And for now, it is minimalistic. Still going to need to change some textures here and there, but yeah, I think this is a good idea. Some nice orangey yellow in here. Fits in perfectly. Alright. On the outside, I'm just going to need to think of something. It also depends on what kind of store it's going to be. Anyways, I've also added way more pieces of floor and already a start of what I wanted to do over there. And or right down here, there is also something. And I think I want to make it into slowly like some dockworks, or what is it called? A pier. We're going to have some piers all over the place. And I have also added some dirty water down here, which I forgot to show in the last episode already, I think. Yeah, so the way how I made this is from glass, brown glass, but then I didn't think it looked like too powerful. So I added in some carpet. Now it looks definitely, you know, like dirty water. Now of course this already exists for thousands and thousands of years, but I'm not going to be bothered to make the whole ocean into that kind of stuff. Right, now these things are a lot of fun, right? If you place these things, it will just turn out to be grey, just like that. So I was like, I just want to keep it because I like the texture. I was like, can you keep it alive? So like this, it will stay alive because it's touching the water. Then I was like, can we keep it alive if the water is touching from underneath? So if you would do this, it definitely stays alive. Or at least do this, it doesn't, because it doesn't work like a pass-through type of deal. But this does mean that at some point we could actually create a nice floor out of it. Nice polish. So that's a good thing. I'm also very lucky because this guy here is just the max of what I can do for right down here. Now I wanted to originally add in another system right down here, but then I was like, yeah, it's gonna be too much, and or it doesn't fit in with that guy. For the train station, there is no really way to make it small and cozy. People who park the car here just need to go maybe down here somewhere with the stairways, and then they can go to the train station. And it doesn't look too bad, not too bad. Now, of course, it would be nice if we could have some lights. Glowstone like glow. I guess it is, right? I'll just pop this on top. Maybe give it an extra, because the thing is, sooner or later there will be like a floor on here, and then, you know, stuff will be nicely connected up. It would make a lot of sense. And you know, and I'm also looking at the Hypertube, which uses black and green glass, and then look at this. I'm all of a sudden not so sure about the color combination here, though. I think it's time to show you some of the progress, because the music is swinging and I'm just having a good time building all of this stuff. So as you can see, well, in my opinion, it looks a lot better than what I had before with all of the blue stuff. You have to keep in mind to keep a little bit with the theme of the stuff that we're building. Now, of course, the roof of the hypertube is green. In this case, I don't want to make everything else green like that. Might just add like a continuing stripe through the building of that. Let's just have to see what I'm going to do. But yeah, this green and black, it's a lot better. Also, I have changed something else. Can I not just get on here? Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I made it out of mud, so... Oh, okay, so that's the reason why I cannot get on here. Because of that. You know what? It's okay. We're gonna add in little step up things, whatever not. No, basically what I got down here. There are enough spots and places where we can actually go onto this. I've not noticed that before, that you couldn't be doing this. I did notice before that once I was placing stuff down that there was a little step up, but I wouldn't think that it affected so much that you cannot get on here. So I just simply use some dye. Green means go in, red means don't go in, even though it says exit. And I make the ground around it black, and I just put arrows on here indicating what happens. So yeah, it works a lot better like that. And also up here I just placed the entrance and exit sign onto the back. I mean, you can see through, so that's way better than having to look up there. Yeah, green exit means go. So I guess job for now. I am freaking happy with the result. Of course, there is tons of other things that I could be doing to the whole place. I could place like half slabs underneath to make it look a little bit less flat, but these are things come eventually. So now it's basically time to make the station itself, and or I'm gonna make another entrance and exit right down here for, you know, because the 2 rails. Well, I finished it off, but I do have to say that I'm a little bit disappointed, and I'm not really sure if there is a way to solve this. But apparently if these minecarts get out of render distance, they basically stop at the moment they get out of render distance, which also means that any other train cart that follow will be bounced back from that point. Now I might need to just show it right now. So now it's out of render distance, and the moment it gets out of render distance, it basically stops. You don't see it stop, but it stopped at that block where it disappears. So now if we're going to look at this, now it came back into render distance because I moved 1 block forward. This one stopped, right? Let the game be, and let's move 1 forwards. It stops. But if you're gonna go forward enough, you can see that they have now crashed to each other when they both came in render distance again. So you can already guess this is not going to work out. We're going to get minecart that goes back and do all kinds of weird stuff. So I have decided, in this case, we're just going to leave it with 1. With the mods, which for example creates, there's also a mod I do believe, and I'm not sure if that counts for these trains, but apparently those trains just keep on going and do what they need to do because they got like destinations which you can set them to. But apparently you can also let, with factories wise, if you go out of render distance from a factory, the factory doesn't work anymore. But there is a mod which you can say to that factory keep on working even though out of render distance, which, you know, you can imagine if you got like a 100 square miles of map full with factories that all need to work while you're not in the render distance, that it's going to be quite heavy at some point. But it should not be too much of a problem. You know, if you got like 1,000,000 stone made by a factory, do you really need more 1,000,000 stones? You just need what you need, right? So that is something to keep in mind for the future, but I am a little bit disappointed that it doesn't go further behind the scene to say. But yeah, I got this one also done. We got an entrance and we got an exit. I'm happy with this progress of this station though. Quite neat, and like I've been saying, we're gonna add some shops in this area though. And yeah, for this I just have to see, and I'm also going to see what else we're going to do, because I'm going to keep in mind that we are going to create cozy little spots. We need to fill in the blank. We're also going to need to add in some home, because right now we don't have home. We got a sushi bar, we got a nightclub, and we got a half empty store and a train station, and a beautiful hidden flower garden. But we're definitely going to add something to fill up areas too. I still like the idea of having a giant fish tank in here, which I think would be a good idea. And also mainly just thinking there's not really an easy way to get a train station any other than use the system where it's used for. Oh, died there. But yeah, I think because I want to have this open, right? I think it's gonna be cool. You have like one open window, you see the fishies swimming. There's not really a lot, but I think we can do something with this, right? It's gonna be real cool. I want to keep the texture rusty and whatnot on the rest of the stuff, even though down here I just cleaned it up for a bit. Train station, a little bit nice, right? And you know what? It really starts to itch. And I want to make a fish tank. So, let me do magic. Alright, and so ladies and gentlemen, it is time for some fancy RTX shots. It's getting misty and raining right now, which is just absolutely perfect. So let's take a little look. And yeah, see how it looks. I'm not really sure what to say, but this, I'm really happy with this right down here. You can really see now how it lights up more like an advertisement type of do rather than a television, which is okay. It is very nice. It is very nice. Certain spots are darker, but that's the whole thing of, you know, cyberpunk. Let me do this. And I'm thinking of it. I actually have something extra, which I'm going to need to hang on to the wall. I have been, and I'm not really sure how to get one. Maybe like that. I have been messing around with the loom and banners in order to... Okay, that is disappointing. So apparently that doesn't work on RTX. Well, anyways, as you can see from the little preview picture, this is actually a portal type of deal. I will just show you at the very end how it looks like, unless it's bugged somehow. But yeah, you can make like all kinds of fun pictures to place around. Very good that it's not really working. But anyhow, let me just show you more like a nice dark alleyway, and I need to fix up something nice up here too, but yeah, this works. Nice and dark, nice and colorful. And you come in here and ooh, look at that. That is going to be the fish tank. Now there is nothing in there. I've been saying I will build a fish tank, but I think it's a nice one for next episode, because you guys can help me out bringing in ideas for the big fish tank. We're going to have coral, we're going to have certain fish, maybe a sunken mini ship in there, or like a skull, something like that. And I'm going to think of a way to fill in this area, right? Because right now there's not really something light up. It's not really filled in. You know, it's very different from when you get here and just turn around and see this. This is what I need. A lot of lights, a lot of happiness, colors, which is something that is now kind of missing out here, right? That is fantastic, the way that lights up. I'm also going to have something in the air right down there between those two inclined pillars. I might have an idea what I can do with that. Something to fill in the sky. This down here doesn't need to be filled in. But also down here, we need something. We need more lights, more colors. We need advertisement. That good stuff. But, oh, this is, you know, having little shops in there. It's gonna do a lot. Have some shops in here. We need to have a stairways. Can you imagine this being a fish tank? Oh, so I've chosen to use the blue glass instead of normal glass. I did chose the very light blue glass, so it's not like the very dark stuff, but I think it's just perfect. It matches well with the light itself. Entrance, sure. Oh, not good for guys. And right down here, I mean, you're waiting on your train cart, see the fish swimming by. I think it's really very nice, right? Stand might look a little bit less fancy, but if we're gonna go with a train cart, you know, the glass is behaving a bit more normal, if you would. But it's really going to be super duper nice. But yeah, ideas for the fish tank. Deliver that all to me, everything and anything that we can do with that. Like I've been saying, we can add a skull, we can add like a part of a boat or a ship. Can add in all kinds of fish, or even, you know, a little bit of that soul sand, have some bubbles going up. Any other missing ideas, just let me know. And right? I can't wait to see it in RTX once it's done. It's going to be crazy looking. Well, anyways, I have this flagpole in my hand, or a banner better to say, and what wouldn't nice spot, and let's say down here. And you know, now you can see it kind of looks like a portal. And now I'm thinking about it, a portal also creates a little bit of light, right? Portal is also a system in order to transport from one spot to the other. It's kind of a shame that I had to look it up on Wiki what kind of stone I needed to use for that. Yeah, it's been a long while, okay? But I was wondering, can you actually fix a portal, like a one block portal? Is that a thing? No, that's not a thing.